Griffin is the highlight reel for Oklahoma.
That was acrobatic. Blake Griffin goes flying over the scorer's table. No fear. Oh, my! Blake Griffin's playing hoops. That is breathtaking. Come on!
Part of the fun of any draft is debating who is going to be number one. Well, the debate ended today when Blake Griffin said he was headed to the NBA, along with several others. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down a few of those names that are out there right now. We'll break them down into three categories: projects, contributors, and impact players. Legs, let me start with you. Griffin, how do you see him?
Impact. That's an easy one for me. When you take a look at this guy physically, he is just so far superior to anybody else coming out of the college game. And remember, he's going to a lottery team for a reason. They don't have guys up front that can play. He's going to get immediate minutes, and he's going to be able to score and rebound at a pretty high level right away.
I'll say impact as well. Anytime you have 30 double-doubles out of 31 games, that's second in NCAA history. The consistency is there. The work ethic is there. Obviously, being a young player, you have to work on his shooting.
All right, that's a no-brainer. DeJuan Blair?
I got to say project. I mean, this guy, no doubt about it, is going to be a big-time rebounder eventually. But at 6'7", you got to give him some time to develop a little more all-around offensive game. But listen, 6 offensive rebounds a game at the college level is ridiculous.
And I'm going to say contributor. I don't think he's going to be a top 10 pick, but I'll tell you what, you get this young fella later in the first round, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder and be competitive every night.
All right, Legs, Chase Budinger.
I think he's a project. He's a guy that really, his stock was just as high after his sophomore year as it is now, but with his length and versatility, he's a pretty good 2-3. He can start to shoot the basketball with better range. I think he's a guy that can play.
I say project as well. Reminiscent a little bit of Troy Murphy, a guy that's a big power forward, small forward type that can shoot facing the basket, needs to work on his post game.
Then there's Psycho T, Legs.
I'm going to surprise some people and say contributor. I mean, listen, this guy's 2,800 points and 1,200 rebounds, okay? He's such a hard worker with a big body and a relentless work ethic. He is going to be able to help some team up with their front line to give them depth, and a guy that can set screens and rebound a basketball.
I think he will be a contributor in his career. Next season, I think he's going to be a project. With his work ethic and attitude, I think that's the kind of young player you want in practice every day, pushing the guys when they're tired after back-to-backs, and ultimately find a role for him to contribute in this league.
Now, we saw North Carolina just crush the competition during the NCAA tournament. They capped it off with a big win over Michigan State. We know how you feel about Psycho T, but now, how do the other guys stack up? Who do you think is going to be the star out of this Tar Heels team, do you think, Jim?
Well, Psycho T's the senior, so he has no choice but to come out. Ed Davis, the young fella, said he's coming back for another year, so he's kind of off limits to me. Wayne Ellington, I saw him at the game. I was there, and he looked awesome. He kind of reminded me of another Tar Heel that was in the building, Vince Carter. He doesn't have the athleticism, but he has the size, he has the length, he has the ability to shoot from 3, and the ability to get hot with the best of them.
Gaudy comparison from Wayne Ellington. I like that. That's going out there. For me, and I know he's not coming out, he hasn't declared yet, but I got to go Ed Davis. And not just because he's from Richmond, Virginia, like myself. This guy at 6'10" with his body, and he showed me a lot in the tournament, his ability to catch and finish around the basket. I think the upside is just tremendous for him. He might not even be done growing yet. This guy can be 7 feet tall and be a power forward by the time he leaves North Carolina. He showed me a lot of toughness. He's stronger than he looks. He's got that kind of wiry frame, but he holds his position exceptionally well. I think when it's all said and done, when you got Lawson, Ellington, Hansborough, I think Ed Davis will be the guy that you'll look back on as being the best NBA player out of that group.
And it's very reminiscent of 2005 when GMs were salivating at the prospect of getting a guy like Marvin Williams, who ended up being a freshman and also came off the bench as well. So
good comparison.
Yeah, very good. So there you go. Now, here are some of the other guys in the top 10 for Chad Ford who are underclassmen who have declared for the draft. Blake Griffin, you know about him.
Oh, and Eric Maynard. I love Eric Maynard, VCU. That young man can put it up at the point guard position and just has great skill in finding people as well.
And then Tyreek Evans and James Johnson, and of course Earl Clark there as well, Jalen.
And Darren Collison at UCLA has shown the ability to run a team, win basketball games on a consistent level.
Still to come.